Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about the idea of CT side aggression and not giving space. Like many others, I watched the Vitality vs Astralis game yesterday for the Blastball Finals, and I believe this was the key to success in their map 3 win on Inferno. So here's a handful of rounds I'm going to break down, so let's get started. So we're going to start things off here on round 2. So Vitality, they actually lost the pistol round. And what we're going to see here with their buy is that Zaiwu and Masuda, they're actually only going to have deagles. And this is because they actually dropped Famises over to Nevera and RPK. Now another thing to keep in mind is that both Zaiwu and Masuda, they're actually going to be the B players in this round. So all the rifles are actually over towards the A side. And because of that, they're actually going to get aggressive. To facilitate this aggression, we're going to see that Apex, with this scout, he's going to spot down towards this middle area to open up a lane for RPK and Nevera to actually peek down towards this alt middle area. And you're going to see that right away, they go for this aggression towards this alt middle side, and they actually get both players. And you're going to see how effective this is from the Astralis players' POVs. So you're going to see from Zipnik's point of view, he's not really ready for somebody to swing out. And as well, if you look at Dupree, he's basically knife out. He's actually trying to go for the next step to jump into Boiler. So you can see that with this aggression, it's actually paid off. But this round isn't quite over just yet. As I mentioned before, Zaiwu and Masuda, they don't have any utility playing over towards this B side because they had to drop those weapons. So RPK and Nevera, they're going to hard rotate over towards B to stack the B site. And this is a good reaction because it's very common that after you get these 2 kills towards this alt middle area, the T's, they may just try to react quickly and try to hit the B site while it's still weaker. So they're going to stack over towards this B side and leave Apex over towards the library. As this stack is happening, Apex, he's actually going to spot Glaive towards this arch side area. He even gets a tag. And this is going to tell all the Vitality players at B that this B reaction is not happening. Rather than actually rotating through the CT spawn area, they're actually going to push Banana and take away the space that the T's have. So they're going to force them into an A play. And all Apex needs to do towards this library area is just simply stay alive as this pack of 4 actually pushes down Banana. So they've effectively limited the options that Astralis have to just simply going towards A rather than rotating through spawn and having the potential for Astralis to actually go back towards this Banana side. And because of this fast flank, Zaiwu is able to get this kill into Device. And Nevera is able to get another kill into Magis, putting Glaive in a 1v5 situation. But you can see that this flank was only possible because of the decision to actually instead take away space from the T's rather than just simply rotating back towards the CT area. And sometimes this fine decision of deciding to take space away from the T's can be the key difference. The next round we're going to talk about here is round 5. We're going to see 3 players go over towards this Banana area. Apex, he only has an ump, so he's actually going to get a little bit aggressive. We're going to see him and Nevera coordinate this flash play. So Apex is going to right click a flash into the smoke. This is intended to be obvious so that the player will turn around. While Nevera, he's going to throw a second flash about a half second later, and this is supposed to be a good flash. This is intended to blind the player. So the right click flash goes through, the good flash comes in afterwards. And with this flash combo, allows Apex to actually take down Magis and control this Banana area. And you'll see that from Magis's perspective, this flash play was perfect. He turns away from the first flash, and then when he turns back around, the second flash hits him. Now after this kill, you're going to see that Apex, he's going to anchor towards this Banana area. He's going to tell Zaiwu to rotate back towards this A side, and that's because Apex still has utility. He still has a smoke and Molotov, while Zaiwu, he doesn't have any utility at all, so he's going to go back towards A. On the other side of the map, while this push happens, you're going to see that RPK is going to toss a Molotov down. This is to preemptively stop a reaction from the T's that could happen as a result of this Banana aggression. And then he's going to toss this smoke down right here. And this smoke here is to buy time for the rotation to come through. But what I want to talk about here is the fact that RPK still holds a fairly aggressive angle with this smoke. And because he holds this fairly aggressive angle, he's able to get Dupree swinging out from Boiler. And in that time, Nevera is actually going to be rotated in with this op to continue to hold brackets. So now at this point, Vitality, not only do they have Banana control, they also have brackets control. And this is related to the concept of not giving the other team space. A lot of other teams, when they do take this Banana control, they may sometimes just decide to give up brackets and just have 4 players playing a more passive setup like this. But because they're not giving them any space, it's actually put Astralis in a difficult spot where they're going to be forced to use utility to either retake towards Banana or retake towards brackets. And as a result, this 5v3 from Vitality also results in another round win. The next round we're going to talk about here is round 9. Masuda actually has the best spawn here to peek towards alt middle. So Apex is going to set up a couple flashes to facilitate this peek. So he's going to peek over towards this window side, over towards alt middle. However, it doesn't end up working out for him. Unfortunately, there was actually a second part of aggression here where Navarro, he's actually going to peek down towards middle. He's simply just going to throw this flash here to peek Magist, who's actually playing in the tunnel. And after getting that kill, you're going to see that once again, Vitality's not going to want to give them space. And this is going to happen as a result of Apex's decision here. So after throwing those two flashes towards alt middle and after these kills are exchanged to make this a 4-on-4, Apex, rather than simply just rotating over towards B or playing A more passively, he's actually going to group up with RPK and they're going to do a double halls push. And when they do this double halls push, they want to do this in the time that Navarro still has his brackets position. And they're trying to actively take space away from Astralis here and try to force them into a B play. So you're going to see that RPK is going to scale up, he's going to peek the right, Apex has his left. Now unfortunately in this round here, Zaiwu, he's actually playing a bit too aggressively here towards his half wall position. He actually really needed to be playing more passively to allow this play to actually develop. After he goes down, the play is dead. But you can see here that in this round, the idea was that if they can take this Hall's position and clear out this alt middle area, two things would have happened. Navarro would have been able to rotate early from the arch side position towards B, and as well RPK, he wouldn't be able to have a fast flank because he would have been flanking before the hit would have even happened. That's what would have made it a fast flank, and the chances of winning this round would have been a lot higher. The last round we're going to talk about here is round 14. This time we're going to be following Navarro as he's going to be the one making the early aggressive play. But this is going to be another example where the early aggressive play doesn't work out, but because Vitality have this idea of not giving the other team space, this round's going to pan out well for them. So we're just going to see Navarro here, he's going to toss a Molotov in front, throw a flash, try to get a pick over towards mid, but it's not going to work out. Now if we look at Masuda's point of view, after Navarro actually dies, you're going to see that his immediate reaction is to smoke the Hall's position and actually drop down towards the porch side. So he's smoking the Hall's position just to prevent any T from walking out during this time, because he's going to focus all of his attention on fighting this brackets position with RPK. And that's because after this kill, there's a very good chance that Astralis are going to try to react off of it and take the brackets area. Now if we look at RPK's point of view, after Navarro's death, you can see that RPK is trying to time this Molotov, so after this Molotov fades, he's going to throw his. So as soon as the Molotov fades, he throws his, and because he throws this Molotov at this timing, he's able to separate this push a little bit, and he's able to actually take this fight with Zibnix. And luckily, he's also able to take down Glaive, who runs through the fire before getting taken down. And if we go back to Masuda here, you can see that as RPK is taking these fights from the arch side, Masuda's taking the fights from the porch side. And because they're both combining and on the same page about not giving the T space here, Masuda's able to take two before going down here. And because of that, they've actually taken this 4v5 situation down into a 2v1 in their favor. You're going to see that from Zibnix's point of view, that when they decide to actually go in for this brackets play, after he sees that Molotov come through, he's actually not expecting RPK to challenge this angle. A lot of the time after you see this Molotov come through, you're expecting the CT to actually play a bit more passively towards the arch side, or maybe he's going to fall back towards Moto. And because of that, the fact that RPK actually decides to fight this and limit their space is the reason why Zibnix goes down here. You'll see that Glaive makes the same assumption. So as he comes over towards this bracket side, Zibnix, he's going to take contact onto RPK, expecting that this player is actually going to fall back more passively. And because of that, Glaive actually has his back turned when he comes out towards this bracket side. Unfortunately, that actually leads to his demise because RPK decides to actually limit their space. From this match, we can see that this is Vitality's game plan on Inferno. It was to challenge whenever possible and to not give any freedom to the Astralis T side. They did this by aggressing whenever possible to try to make it 5v4, and they'd be more than willing to take space and map control away so that 1, they would limit Astralis' options, and 2, they would not give them the freedom to do whatever they wanted. So if you ever play against a team that's really good with their defaults, this is the approach that you should take. You want to put them in uncomfortable situations where they don't have time to think, and that's how you're going to come out on top. That's going to be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for my future uploads. Thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next one.